Hey guys, it's Diabetic Girl, and I know about a year ago this time I made a video called Things Parents Don't Understand About Diabetes. Now that I'm approaching my 16th year and I'm 9 days away from it, I've decided to make a video that maybe will help you guys as much as it's helped my family, which is how to help your parents understand things about diabetes. You know, they try so hard to be able to help you grow and to understand what is going on inside of your body with your diabetes. And sometimes that can be really hard for them. Trust me, I speak from experience. I love my mom to death, but seriously, after almost 16 years of this battle, there are still some things that I have to say over and over again for her to understand. So maybe it'll help you guys and your parents if you guys learn from my mistakes. My mom, when I was younger, would always be like, okay, it's time to test. Okay, well, here's the thing. You can't really fail a blood sugar checking or a BGM, whatever you should call it, at your house. You fail a test. So it's like when your parents say, let's test, you freak out because you're like, oh my god, I couldn't fail this, and I can't do that to myself. It's totally and completely logical. Sorry, I cannot speak today. And I totally understand it. Because trust me, that was me too. Like, my mom would say that, and I'd be like, and it's like, you can't really fail a blood test. It's not like a pass or fail type of thing. It just gives you information upon what you need to fix. There's no such thing as a good or bad number either. Whether you're 400 or 40, it just tells you what you do need to fix with your insulin ratios. So, I guess there are two lessons in one. Ask your parents to not call it a test if they are, because sometimes it can actually really make you anxious. And there's no such thing as a good or a bad blood sugar. It just gives you information on what you need to do. I also really don't like when I'll do something like I'll fall. I'm a real klutzy person. And my mom will be like, check your blood sugar, you're low. And I'm not low. And it's like, I'm just a natural klutz. I can't help the fact that I just fell down when I slip and fall in my own bedroom in my socks. This morning, for example, I was over there in that doorway, and I just slipped right into my closet and almost fell into all my clothes. And I was like, haha. And I knew I wasn't low. I wish that not everything that happened had to do with a low blood sugar. And my mom's defense is that I'm just worried. I get that. But you know what? Sometimes I just trip and fall to trip and fall, I suppose, It's sort of this, key balance of really knowing what's going on before you make that assumption, because I seriously, will, convulse or have a heart attack. I am just that type of person. I don't want everyone to think that, every time I trip and fall, I'm low. Hello? I didn't upload that video. There was a video that I filmed, and I can no longer upload it because it was deleted, off my hard drive, called Dating Disasters, where I actually fell. I fell. It was in this bedroom, and I was talking about me being a klutz, and I literally, fell to the ground, and my mom was like, oh my god, you're low. And I'm like, no. My room was a mess. I was like, no, I tripped over my chair. And she was, having a heart attack. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So, 3. Even, try to talk to your parents. Be like, you know what, if I fall down or I do something stupid, I might not be low. I just might be half asleep. I might not be in the moment. It all depends. She is so loud. Hold up. Can you turn it down or shut your... Ugh. Little siblings. They just know how to get on your nerve. Alright. The other one that I kind of don't like, which would be number 5, or number 4, sorry, I can't count. No, I'm not low. He's right there. Okay, so, another one I really don't appreciate is that my mom seems to think that, or she used to seem to think that, my little sister had to take care of me when we're, home alone. I can understand that to an extent. Sometimes when I go really low, I can't physically control my actions, my words, anything, because I just lose control of myself. At that point in time, having a younger or older sibling take care of you is perfectly logical. When I'm 144 and I am hungry and she's yelling at me about eating something and did I bolus? That's when it becomes too much. My little sister should not be taking on the role of my mother when I can bolus myself, I can give my own insulin, and I'm 144. And, I was saying to my mom, like, this really upsets me, the fact that you think that I'm so incapable of taking care of myself that you have to have my little sister do it for me. And it's not like, I guess it would be like one thing if my little sister wasn't as pushy as she is. Don't get me wrong, I love her very much, but she's just very pushy. If you don't do things her way, you're screwed. And I don't appreciate having a 10-year-old telling me, an almost 18-year-old, to go check my blood sugar because, like, do any of you guys do that thing with your leg where you, like, shake your leg? My sister flips out. She's like, oh my god, you're low. And so they go and get you. So I'm like, no, I'm just doing that. I can stop. Number 4, please, if you know your sibling has to take on the role because you're low or you're really high, that's fine. But when your blood sugar is perfectly normal, do not let them take over. Because of that, my sister thinks she's like my mom. And she's not. At all. Number 5. During the holidays, when, up to this year, sorry. Up to 2013 holiday. My mom used to be so uber possessive of, like, my blood sugar and how much I would eat. And ever since, like, my burnout and ever since we started talking, the way that it goes now is I can eat when I want to, but if my blood sugar is high, I have to take care of it. I have to get up every hour to hour and a half. I have to do everything myself and make sure that, I'm not in the hospital. And believe it or not, as weird as this sounds, it actually makes a lot more sense because, 2 years ago, so 2012, Christmas, the day, Christmas Eve day, I went out for lunch and I, forgot to bolus because I was wicked low. I was, 40. And I was like, okay, well, I'll recheck in a couple minutes and I'll bolus. And because I was so focused on getting everyone Christmas gifts, I didn't bolus. So it was 400. And my mom literally, anytime I would pick up food at that party, what do you think you're doing? What's your blood sugar? You can't eat that. Okay, woman. You need to calm down. You need to calm down right now. You cannot be doing this to me. I am, at that point in time, what 2012. How old was I? 2 years ago? I'm 17, so I was 15. 14 or 15 probably. And it's really, can you not understand that I need my freedom? So now, after my burnout, a couple months ago, I said to my mom and my doctor, and I said, listen, I want you in my diabetes life. I do not want it to be like it was before, where before, if I was 400, I would get a lecture for an hour and a half. Even if it was a freaking pump site failure, I would get a lecture for an hour and a half. No matter what, I said, we can't go back to that. It was causing fighting. The two of us couldn't get along. We couldn't even sit in the same damn room, okay? It was that bad. We, literally sitting in the same room would cause this, that would be her and I. We would constantly be hitting against one another. And while it can happen occasionally here and there now, it's not as awful. There was a time when she still thought she was, wicked. Oh, no, right after my burnout. I went to Mom Quiqui's house, and my mom called me, and she was like, well, why didn't you do this? I'm with friends right now. You need to back off. I get it. You want to help me. But at the same time, too, she literally, that day I was with Mom Quiqui, I was there all day. Because my father was in the hospital, and I needed out. She called 20 times. And that night I sat down and said, listen, I know you want to be part of my life with my diabetes to help me fix this. This is too damn much. She was making me fill out food logs. And I'm like, the fuck? This has nothing to do with my diabetes. No. Mom, this is not okay. I will handle this how I would like to handle this, and whether that means you don't like it or you do, I do not care. I need you to still be in this, but back off a bit. And, we live in much better harmony now that I've said that. So, yay. So number 5 would be make sure there's a respectable distance between your parents and your diabetes. If your parents really like to be part of your diabetes life and they're okay with it and they're not controlling about it, great. Keep it how it is. But if they're not, just pull back a little bit. Don't be an idiot like me and pull back all the way and then have to bring her back in. So, yes, yay. Number 6. This was one of the hardest ones to get my mom to understand. You know, she is sort of very strict about this. Maybe you guys can do it, but sometimes I don't have the time to, you know, check every single 2 hours, which sounds really, really, really bad. But I mean, I check before I eat, you know, stuff like that. But for me, like, especially in school, every 2 hours is really hard because my classes are like an hour and a half long. So that's like, I'll check at the beginning of one, but then I'll completely lose track of time, or, you know, certain things like that. And it can be really, 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 really hard for me to do that. And I'm not trying to make excuses here. I will be completely honest. I could do it if I put the effort into it, but you know what? I'm past wanting to put the effort into that. And, you know, the compromise with my mom is that I checked when I was high, I checked when I was low. I wear a CGM so that I don't have to check all the time. It's a lifesaver. Yay! Yeah, I keep that box there. Keep it right there so that every time I vlog, I can be like, ah! No, I don't really. It's just, that's its home, and I've just been vlogging in my bedroom. You know, so we came to that compromise of, you know, I would wear the CGM again. I would wear it faithfully. Except it knows I'm being unfaithful. No, I'm just kidding. So, you know, the fact that I would stay on it, and I wouldn't just give up on it after a couple days. And I do love my CGM. You know, I'll be the first person to say that. Like, woo, I love it. Mm-hmm. So, that was, like, the compromise for that. To fix the whole, like, I can't check every 2 hours. And it's like, I want to, but if I check, I always check at, like, 8 o'clock. So that's, like, before first bell. My first period starts at 8:15. Okay. So check at 8 o'clock. That's 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock is, like, an awkward... It's not like a transition time, but, like, it's weird. I don't know how to explain it. It's weird. And I could do it, but depending on, like, because we have Panther and Pride days, so on Panther Day, I have my Spanish teacher who, like, really doesn't like me. You've heard this story. So it's kind of hard. And on Pride days, I am actually in a studio, either filming or working on a show. And I don't want to get blood over expensive cameras. You know, so that, like, that's just an example. And I know, I'm just making excuses now. I should probably, you know what, New Year, I'm going to try to check every 2 hours. Ba-boom. I also need to put a CGM back in. I think I'll put it in my bottom. It's my CGM, my CGM, my CGM. Okay, another one, which probably will only go towards the pumpers, or the CGMers, is that my mom has a really hard time, putting them in because she just thinks it's something I should have to do on my own, especially the CGM. Like, the pump set, I can put in no problem. The CGM scares me a little bit. So, like, we have to come up with a certain time and place to put it in, which can be really, really, really friggin' annoying. Like, waiting for my mom to be like, okay, let's put it in. So, what I do is I say to her, you know, if it's a Friday night, I'll email her while I'm in school and say, hey, do you mind if we put a CGM in tonight around maybe 7:30ish? Because she teaches a Zumba class, so she doesn't get home till about 7:30. You know, around 7:30ish? You okay with that? And usually that works. And, you know, if your parents are giving you problems about that, just remind them, you are still only young as well. And it can be hard. You know, if I could... Hold up. We're going to have a demonstration. Oh, you like how it's colored? This is the inserter that my mom likes. Okay. So if I could easily, like, stand up and, like, do this and not be horrified, which I kind of am, I totally do it in my butt. But unfortunately, I can't do that, and I fear that if I put it in my legs, it'll come off. Do you see how tight these jeans are? Like, it would come off, okay? So, like, that horrifies me. And I put it in my stomach, but the last time I did it was that video that I did for you guys about the CGM when it was violently bleeding. And then I was bruised for a good, like, 6 weeks. So it just wasn't worth the time or the effort at that point in time. And I mean, I'm sure that come like the end of the weekend, I'll put one in. But it's just, I don't know, I get really, like, apprehensive about this stuff. But, you know, luckily I was able to explain that to my mom, and she totally got it. I don't know. So, have I helped you and your parents understand the beaties better? Maybe you guys should watch this video together. Oh, go hit that replay button. Yeah. You're gonna put this video on replay and watch it with your parents. Actually, don't, because I swear. Whoops. Sorry. So, here is to year 16. I will see you guys probably tomorrow for a vlog. And, yeah. Bye!